very exciting this afternoon.
Well, somewhat of a surprise, the drive around the pole, sort of an unknown quantity this season. He's talked to our Sandy Hank, chatted with him earlier this weekend.
After more than a decade of coming to the runoffs, Pratt Cole decided to take a year off and to do a little bit of sailing. Well, he is back in the cockpit again, sitting on the pole this year, and I know you've got to be anxious to claim a checkered flag.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this. It should be a lot of fun. We've had a fairly good season, and the car is showing some quickness, and we're quite excited.
He's excited, and 13 years exactly for coming to the runoffs, and he is a former champion sitting on the pole, so he's got a great chance here today.
Brad Cole back in the Mazda, the 97 champion. Let's show you the starting lineup, 42 cars strong. As we get ready for green, Cole and Grayson Upchurch on the front row. Endicott, Cook, Rivera, John Schmidt, Sam Halkins, Milton Grant, Kim Napa, John Brackey, your top 10. Second 10 looks like this. Dwight Kelly, Tom Thrash, Glenn Young, Doug Feiner, John Emerson, Bruce MacArthur, Roland Camber, Buddy Norton, John Weisberg, and Mike Van Steenberg. Let's show you 21st through 30th. Gary Martz, Ken Cannard, Luis Rivera, Christopher Bovis, Larry Funk, Andrew Barron, Gerald Lamb, Charlie Clark, Jesse Prather, and Joe Kelly. Now we've got 12 more starters. Eric Trill, Rick Estes, Don Bunt, Brian Hopp, Tim Stevens, Mike Gertis, Bill McMahon, Mike Valley, Dave Rosenblum, a veteran of showroom stock, Gary Gist, Mike Carr, and Austin Britton. Gentlemen, coming to the green flag, 42 cars strong for the E-Production National Championship.
You need to take a break, Rick, after going through that grid. I'm sure you're out of breath. Here we see it. Green flag, Dorsey. This is going to be important. Someone in the grass there taken to the inside.
Oh, 6-7 wide. Watch for the bumping down here to stack up in the brake zone. Looks pretty clean, though. Little smoke.
Cole in the 99.
Racing going to the inside. Could take the lead there. It's a prime opportunity, but he's going to be on the outside for turn 9.
Oh, they bump.
Squeezes him.
They bump for sure.
Very aggressive there. Grayson Upchurch in the number 2. Nissan 240X. He's been fast the last 2 years here, looking for his first national championship.
Grayson ran an old 240Z Datsun for a long time. He was sentimental favorite for so many years to win this. It would be great to see him come away with the win today.
Bob Endicott sits third in that Honda.
That's what's great about the S's, Dorsey. You can literally go side by side through there, theoretically 3 or 4 corners, providing you're not too aggressive and start to bang wheels.
Just need a little help from your friends.
First trip to the carousel, the complete lap number 1. Cole is the leader. Upchurch is second. Bob Endicott, veteran of World Challenge Racing, sits third. John Bizignano. Pratt Cole off to a great start in that 99.
Well, this is exactly what he wanted. He wanted to be out front so that he could keep up the momentum. He says racing that Mazda Miata is just like racing Formula V. Once you lose the momentum, if you're down 100 RPM at the coming out of the corner onto the straight, he says it'll cost you 500 RPM by the time he gets to the end of that straightaway. Momentum, Mazda, and Miata. 3 rounds of winning here.
Well, I tell you what, it's a tough combination. This class is comprised of so many different types of cars. Some heavy cars with big motors like that old TR6 back there. Then some lighter weight cars like the little Chatham 7s and the Lotus Super 7s, very light but small horsepower cars. It's like a run what you've run. I said the other day, everything here but a
angle out of the keyhole, the 15 car. Brian Hout from Spring Hill, Kansas involved. Looks like the 10 machine there, too, in the 42. And there's Lamb from Owego, Illinois, out of the car.
A couple of them that
big
went
smoke on there. You've got heavy damage to one of the cars still on the course. One of the Caterhams
13
in
to 15.
trouble. That could be Bob Boyd from Stoughton, Massachusetts.
Boy, I tell you what, this will bring out a full course for sure. That's Brian Hopp we're looking at. I raced against Brian for years in an Alpha that he had. But anyway, it's going to bring a full course because we've got cars that are just tore all up in this.
Big tangle coming out of the keyhole as we've seen earlier this weekend. It can be very slick there. The sun is shining. The track temperatures probably at their highest of the weekend, and that certainly will make the track slick. Pratt Cole in the 99 remains the leader. This will be lap number 2 for Cole. Running in second spot is Grayson Upchurch in that Nissan 240SX, and behind him the Honda Prelude of Bob Endicott from San Diego.
Well, I saw Pratt Cole come off the last straightaway corner onto the 5th straightaway and look hard to his right over where we are at the timing scoring building. I don't know if he's got a spotter over there or something that's telling him something.
Everybody must be off the racetrack coming out of the exit keyhole. They're showing the local yellow there.
Yeah, it wasn't full course. When they went past the start-finish line, the gantry there didn't have a double yellow display, so I think we're under a local yellow at this point in time.
The what there? Gantry.
You're not going to pick on me again. I just like centrifugal.
Yeah. We need that Homeland dictionary that Calvin uses. I didn't get my copy this week.
Is that the flagger?
Yeah, that's it. The flagger station. Stand. Shed. What do you want me to do?
Roger Cook from Zephyr Hills, Florida, the 52 car battling there. And the 62 of John Schmidt from Sunbury, Ohio. There's the 52 and the 62 battling for position.
There's that old TR6 I was talking about. Got a great big inline 6-cylinder in it.
They're running back in 5th and 6th right there.
It's always interesting when you have so many different cars in a category to see the advantages that one has over another. Some have handling, some have braking, some have straightaway speed, and it really kind of concertinas as they go around the racetrack.
It does what?
There you go again.
I'm trying to get in as many as I can in one race.
You're kidding Dorsey about Dorseyisms. We're going to have to develop a name for you.
I can't begin to even spell that word, much less understand the meaning.
Tony Rivera from Littleton, Colorado there in the 76 car, watching that red Mazda RX-7, leading the 52 of Roger Cook. Battling for position. They're running for 4th. Your leader, the 99. Pratt Cole from Salt Lake City, Utah. He's led since the drop of the green. On board, meantime, riding with Buddy Norton, who started at 18th spot. We'll be back. On board with Buddy Norton's machine out of the keyhole. Lots of traffic deeper in the field. Norton started at 18th spot. He's raced his way to 15th.
This is a Chatham you're riding on board with, and you're looking at the back end of what the front end of this car looks like. That could be actually a 7 there. Anyway, these cars, what I was saying before, everything in this class with former cars, if you knock those little bicycle fenders off, these will be former cars.
Yeah, and they're a lot of fun to drive. And you can see the battle here is thick and fast in the middle of the pack now. Gets a little wide. They didn't really seem to have a lot of straightaway speed and certainly didn't have the braking of the car in front of him. There you see the battle throughout the field, and this is what this class is all about. Different cars, and everyone has a chance whatever you bring here to race.
One of the Caterhams, that's the 17 of Norton, carrying one of our onboard cameras here this weekend. Behind the Mazda RX-7, an older vintage RX that you see in another Prelude. Up in front, meantime, Cole is out in front. Upchurch in the Deuce is second. They've opened up a lot of ground now on Bob Endicott's Honda in third.
Yeah, they're settling down. I mean, this man has won the championship before back in 1997. He took a year off and come back, as Sandingham explained at the front of the show, and he feels confident about taking another championship. But Grayson Upchurch is a fine young driver. He really goes flat out. He's got a lot of respect from the competition he's run against over the last 2 or 3 years, and they felt that he may be the man to beat this weekend. But right now, he's being shown a clean pair of heels, Dorsey.
Yeah, he is that. Taking a year off to go sailing is, it's kind of doesn't fit well with racing with me. I mean, waiting for the wind blow versus having all that horsepower.
Well, we saw that scramble coming out of the keyhole a few moments ago, and amazingly, Calvin Dorsey thought full course yellow would be necessary. There's an ambulance and a safety truck over there, but we're still racing full tilt, Sandy Hang.
Well, Louis Rivera is one of the cars that got tangled up in there. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, basically, we were coming in the keyhole and, first full lap, and somebody decided that they could win the race on the first lap. And, anybody who's into our sport knows that that's not the way that works. And
what did you see right in front of you?
well, basically, I had the line in there, and he came in on the inside and hit me and spun me around, and 3 other cars hit me. And, it's unfortunate because, it's a long race.
Yeah, it's a tough break for him. He's been coming here for 6 years, and his race is over today.
Luis Rivera from Kiowa, Colorado, the Rotary Performance Mazda RX-7, 1989 car. So good, a lot of miles, a lot of racing miles on that machine.
It's such a letdown because, I mean, for these guys, this is their, end of season championship. They spend a lot of money and put in a lot of effort to get through to the championships. And to come here, Dorsey, spend sometimes a week to 10 days here to prepare for this one, to be taken out early is a big disappointment.
Yeah, you look the whole year long forward to coming here and coming up against the best in the country, the best that there is to have offer, and then you get here and have something either mechanically go wrong, get hit, and taken out early, and the whole year's gone, and you can't bring it back. That's why I guess I did 13 of these, never did. I don't know.
Grayson Upchurch in the Deuce, running in second spot. It's 1.4 seconds behind the leader, Pratt Cole. Now, Upchurch out of Alpharetta, Georgia, young driver. He's got his sights set on bigger things. In fact, he thinks this run this weekend could propel him into the Speed Vision World Challenge soon.
Jason's been around racing his entire life.
Well, Janet Upchurch is Grayson's mother, and she was the circuit manager at Road Atlanta for many years, and so Grayson has certainly spent his early days around the racetracks and got a fondness and certainly a love for the sport, and he's a great young driver. He's been so close last couple of years, always been a factor here, but never been able to pull it off. And right now, unless something happens to Pratt Cole, he's really not closing in on him, Dorsey. He seems to be staying the same gap.
All right, let's get Grayson Upchurch's thoughts on that possible springboard to World Challenge competition. Well, we'll hear from him a little bit later on today. Here's Pratt Cole, your leader, down the front straightaway.
I can tell you what he'd say. He really wants to go speed.
He's hoping for a good run here today. I bet that's what we'll hear him say right now.
He wants the winner, and then he wants a top factory ride in the World Challenge. That's what he wants to do.
Well, the rules in e-production are very close to the Speed Vision World Challenge rules, and our goal is to reach the Speed Vision World Challenge. So running this class, hopefully do a good job here at the Runoffs, and next step, World Challenge, Speed Vision World Challenge.
Dorsey, you must have conducted that interview.
I told you that's what he's going to say. I can just tell. Well, he has, in fact, grown up around Road Atlanta and been around there. His family put him through Skip Barber Racing School. There was no question in any of our minds at that given point he had a lot of talent, and showing it here today.
I can't believe the way these two have pulled away from the rest of the field. I mean, they're just in a different league right now, and hopefully they can close up a little bit. I mean, traffic will eventually become a factor here. Maybe that can play a part. But
you see all the oil there, Cal? Sorry to butt in right there, but at the bottom of that hill, it's just covered in oil all the way through that corner there.
Pratt Cole, your leader in that Barney purple, you might say. Mazda Miata, the 99 car. There's Upchurch in the deuce in second spot. The 91 car in the 75, racing for position a little bit deeper in the field. The 91, the machine of John Weisberg from Fairfield, Connecticut, the New England region. The 91 RX-7. The 75 machine, John Emerson from San Jose, California. And an 83 RX-7. Just a couple of the brands that you'll see do battle here in E-Production. We'll be back with more. The board, less than 13 remain in E-Production at the 2001 SCCA Valvoline Runoffs. With Calvin Fish and Dorsey Schrader, I'm Rick Benjamin. John Visignano and Sandy Hang on pit road for us. Pratt Cole, the 97 champion in this category, perhaps on his way to win number 2. Now, we have seen drivers dominate. Cole has built the lead to nearly 2.3 seconds over Upchurch. As we watch some of the racing a little further back in the pack.
Car 71, that's Bruce McCarthy. He's currently running 10th out there, so he's having a real battle there with the Caterham. Let's see how these cars really stack up as they come on this back straightaway.
Doug Piner in the 00 there. He's in 9th. Cal, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Mazda X7 certainly has a lot more legs down the straightaway, Dorsey, but that little Caterham certainly gets through the turns.
Well, that's the balance right there, Cal. And Mid-Ohio is a perfect racetrack to run that balance at, because the straightaway here is quite long, so it's good for a horsepower car. But once you get off to this part right here, you better have a good handling car.
Yeah, this is where the little load of 7s and stuff should come into their own, coming through the twisty stuff. Mazda's going to take a bit more handling through here, but fascinating battle here in the top 10. Battles throughout this 40-car field today.
Kim Knapp from Avon, Colorado is next in line in car number 70 in this group. Running in 11th position.
Bruce there is pinching the car a little bit over the top of the hill. That will certainly cost him some exit speed coming through there. We saw some smoke out of the back of the Mazda as well.
Doug Piner's car, that yellow Datsun 240 ZX there, up in 9th spot. So you've got a group of cars running nose to tail, battling for position.
You know, it's not like there's just new cars put in this class. The old ones are still there. Somewhere out there's an Alva Courier. That's got to be from 1950 something or other.
62 is the vintage Jesse Prater.
Just like I said then.
Yeah.
But that's
closer to my
almost
birthday
40
than yours, Dorsey.
Well,
almost 40 years old. Still watching the battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th here.
Hit the curb there with the Mazda, and hits this one as well. You don't really want to do that. You see it lock the tire up too, Cal, when he bumped off the curb there.
Yeah, and the car's a little unweighted there anyway, and you're hard on the brakes as you charge up the hill there. The key is to gain momentum through there. Someone made a little spin there, coming out of turn 1. Either that or he's just coming out of the pit lane. Gradually getting back up to speed. I believe that's a 74 car, which is Milton Grant.
There's the 39 trying to make a move.
There's that Elva, too. That's the one I was talking about. Right there, the 34, I believe it is.
Battling for 21st spot. The 34 car, actually, Jesse Prater. That's the Elva you were talking about.
There's the Elva Courier.
The 18-day Rosenblum from Langhorne, Pennsylvania, veteran of Speed Vision World Challenge competition, wielding one of those Caterhams today.
That thing needs a big wing sprint car thing.
Yeah. And look at the speed differential here. Dave takes the inside line. He should be a little bit better under braking, but he's lost the position already, so that one's gone away from him.
A little smoke from the front tire, I think. Nope, not from the tire at all. Actually, I think it's from the engine we're getting smoke.
Battling for 21st spot. 42 cars took the green.
Oh, he tucks it to the inside late, but made the move stick. That was nice. Really wide entry by the Elva there, going into turn 9.
He left that one wide open, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I took it.
Let's jump up on board our camera car. Buddy Norton's 17.
Oh, car in front of him, way wide there.
That's the exit of 1, and that car went all the way up. Of course, here's the S's. Pro cars normally go straight there. I always liked that. Oh, that car loose again. Loaded 7, I believe, or either that or Chater.
Buddy running in 12th spot in that 17 car. Directly in front of him, Tim Knapp's 70 car. That's a Caterham right in front.
It's the all-important keyhole right there. Now the long back stretch. A little moisture coming up on the camera. Possibly some bugs.
Looks like water almost.
Could be water as well.
Well, Kim got up on the curb pretty heavy there in turn 1. There's a big step halfway along that curb, and if you hit that hard, you can damage the underside of the race car, so that's definitely a possibility that Kim Knapp up in front of this car we're watching from the in-car camera has a problem.
Give you an idea right there of the elevation climbing up over that top of the hill. You're blind. Listen to the engine right here. It'll spin the wheels right here. As it goes over that rise. This yet an even bigger rise. He'll do it again when he comes up over here.
This is one of the toughest corners on the racetrack. The road falls away on the entry there. Tons of grip at apex, and then you press the big hill coming off that turn. So very difficult to get that one right. One of the toughest corners on the Mid-Ohio track to really get the full speed advantage you need to put a good lap together.
More moisture or whatever that is on our camera.
Buddy Norton in car number 17 started at 18th spot. He's gained a lot of ground. He's up to 12th as we are halfway in the E-Production National Championship run here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We'll return in a moment. Pratt Cole and that Miata dominating the show here in E-Production in 2001. The 97 national champion took a year off, as Sandy Heng told us earlier. Cole back with a vengeance in that Mazda, out-qualified the rest of the field. Had a good 8/10 of a second on Grayson Upchurch, who was on the outside pole in that 2-car. Upchurch runs second, but the gap just continuing to widen. Cole just knocking off near perfect laps in that 99 car.
Yeah, he's Grayson's job dropping way back now. He's about 3/4 of a second off Pratt in qualifying, and I think he realized that he needed to make a move early. We saw him have a lot of aggression there in the first couple of corners. Couldn't make the move stick going through the S's, and Pratt right now is just driving a perfect race.
Here comes Cole. 9 laps to go. And there is Upchurch running second in the black car with a yellow striping. That's a Nissan 240 SX.
A little slide off that last corner. I wonder if his tires are starting to go off a bit at the rear.
Running third, the 76 machine now. Good move up for the 76. Tony Rivera from Littleton, Colorado. It's a 79 RX-7.
He qualified 5th, I believe, for the race today, and up into a podium position right now. Not really challenging the front two, but big battle going on behind there. Someone just waved someone by, has a problem.
And look, Fiat 124 just let...
And the 52 car is 4th. Roger Cook from Zephyrhills, Florida. And that's a Mazda Miata. And then the 62, John Schmidt from Sunbury, Ohio, in that Honda Prelude.
Cook had a great run here last year. He was up into the 2nd spot and couldn't hold it down, but he's strong here at Mid-Ohio every year.
Bob Endicott in the 8 car had been running up in the top 3. He's back in 8th now in another Honda Prelude. Watching Tony Rivera in the 76 car. Running strongly, advancing up to 3rd. We talked to Tony earlier this weekend about just how important it is to put together a good motor for these Mazda RX-7s and what that can mean to a driver.
Basically, the minute the RX-7 was classed in E-Production, I figured it was good development ground for the engines. Being the builder and the driver, I get to experiment with different setups that I didn't used to be able to do. Basically, I can run the car harder, try, experimental stuff that I don't have to worry about selling a customer an engine that might not, make it through a race because of something that is uncharted territory, basically. So it's really helped me in that aspect, and it, really helps with the business. And E-Production's been a great opportunity to race for not $1 million budget.
Well, he has a new motor and gearbox in that car this year, and in fact, he won the June Sprint Story and was going for the Triple Crown. He won his division, but made a bit of a meal of the entry to the keyhole there that time. But charging hard. I mean, he's got good exit speed there coming off, so a good recovery. Just got a little bobbled up there on the entry.
Well, these Mazdas, at least this particular one, has the rotary engine, the old Wankel NSU type motor. And when he says going into uncharted territory, he means it. You start modifying those things, you're going somewhere.
Tony's company, TR Rotor Sports, out in Colorado. We heard from his dad, Luis Rivera, earlier, who had problems, got caught up in that big wreck in the keyhole, and more from Sandy Hain now. And we'll talk to Sandy in just a moment as we watch Tony Rivera work the racetrack, running in third spot.
You want me to tell you what you would have said?
You've got your crystal ball, your Swami outfit on today, so
I haven't been right on any call on the racetrack, so
might as well jump in any old time.
I think you should do pit reports from indoors.
I can see it from here.
All right, let's try this again. Sandy Hain, what do you have for us?
Hey, now we got that magic talking stick working. Luis Rivera is Tony's dad, and I know you're out of the race, but you're having fun watching Tony here. What are you thinking?
Absolutely. I'm really enjoying it. He's doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there at the end. He's pretty aggressive, and he'll press on the whole race.
Now, I know you guys don't have radio communication, but if you could give him some advice at this point in the race and watching him charge forward.
Well, at this point in the race, I just have to ask for his advice, really, because he's doing just fine and I'm not. So I just wish him all the luck, and I know he'll do well.
Okay, that's Luis Rivera. He's Tony's dad, and he's excited and happy to see him doing so well.
Tony up in third spot all by himself there in the 76 car. He's got a good advantage over the 52 running in fourth. Roger Cook, who qualified fourth. Tony Rivera has come from fifth to third with 7 laps to go here at Mid-Ohio. And E-Production, Brett Cole, your pole sitter, has dominated. Ohio Sports Car Course, you're on Speed Vision. Coverage of the SCCA's Valvoline Runoff for 2001. Watching the E-Production Championship battle, and it hasn't been much of a battle. Pratt Cole in car number 99 has returned to racing this season, actually fairly late in the season. He has been the dominant force. Through the trees there, you got a brief peek at what is developing as a good battle for 8th spot. The 0 car running in 8th. It's the car of Tom Thrash out of Houston, Texas. The 09 and the 75 involved. Gary Martz in the 09, the 75, John Emerson. They're fighting it out for 16th right now.
A couple of RX-7s there, and
240Z behind it.
he was getting crossed up. The guy in the yellow machine at the back end there, I'm not sure which car that is, but
Old Datsun 240Z had a big power slide. There he goes again.
There we go. That looks like fun.
One of the other drivers waving by on the inside as this battle rages. The 09, Gary Martz. 75, John Emerson. Then you've got that 240. I think that's the 61 car? No. Try to get a look at the car when it comes by this time.
I think it's a 51 car, actually. 73 Datsun.
Ken Kennard, yeah, from East Troy, Wisconsin. They're fighting for position there. Back in 15th, 16th, and 17th. Yeah, there's the 51 of Kennard. Pratt Cole out in front, meantime, building his lead. Almost 5 seconds last time by over Upchurch, running second in the 2.
And that's quite amazing in the C production class, because normally in years gone by, it's down to the last lap, last wire, banging and punching each other and going on.
There's the battle between the 0 Thrash and the 89 car. John Brackey from Fargo, North Dakota. The 0 running 7th. 89 is 8th, so this is a good battle for position here.
Yeah, Bracky's in a brand new Mazda Miata. He won the sprints this year, which is almost as difficult to win as a national championship, sometimes with huge fields, and got a great car underneath him, similar to the leader's car, I believe.
Got an old RX-7 in front. Oh, spin by the Datsun. We saw it, the 240Z being loose. A little too loose that time there. He gets it going again.
00, Doug Piner from Apex, North Carolina. 73 Nissan 240.
No damage done, but that handwriting's been on the wall.
Yeah, I think the track is pretty slick this afternoon. There's been a few cars who have been dropping oil. We saw in one of the earlier races that those guys were struggling for grip. And same thing here. We're seeing a few mistakes, which may just mean that there's not much grip out there afforded. And the guys are charging hard with a handful of laps left.
5 to go for the leaders. Guys, this is the first time I've been here for this particular event. And because of the 24 races over 3 days, very tight schedule, it appears that the marshals are reluctant to throw a caution or a red flag or anything like that. They want to keep the show moving.
That's a good point. I mean, what they battle here is darkness for sure, because they start at daylight and they go literally right till the end of the day. So if they get very far behind, they have to take it out of something. The only thing they can take it out of is lunch, and that's gone already.
So where a pro race, you might see a caution to dry up moisture. Here, you don't get that.
Right.
Battle down the backstretch here at Mid-Ohio. Waning moments of the E-Production National Championship battle. The 89 car, John Brackey from Fargo, North Dakota. Good run for Brackey in that brand new machine. He is 7th.
Brad Cole, the leader there, trying to make a clean run around some traffic. We had someone move on him a little bit, probably gave him a bit of a fright, but he's back on his way on the front straightaway.
Cole working lap traffic. 42 cars started the E-Production battle. Not nearly that many will finish soon here at Mid-Ohio. Course coverage of the 38th annual SCCA Valvoline Runoffs. Pratt Cole building a 4.7 second lead now in that 99 car. He'll get the 3 to go sign next time by, going down the back straightaway up on the curving. Takes a look in the rear view mirror. Hasn't really put a wheel wrong since the drop of the green here today. On a picture-perfect afternoon, late, so I guess you call it early fall now because we're well into September. Perfect afternoon for racing.
It really is. There's some rain that's supposed to come in here tonight. Final day of the runoffs, and going to be here all week, just as I have to get ready for some scores.
Oh, boy.
Got your rain suit with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Cole
really sets up pretty wide there coming up over the hill. He takes a big wide radius through there. Sets up nicely for 11. Doesn't use all of the road on entry. He seems to be in cruise mode right now. He's got a massive lead over Grayson, and he's just trying to keep it clean. Make sure he doesn't have any pressure when he encounters traffic.
And we hear drivers talk about having a rhythm on a certain racetrack. Do you need to have a good rhythm up here, Calvin? And what is that? What does that mean to a driver?
Well, I mean, you just have to get into the rhythm of the racetrack in terms of this back section, which we're now seeing the completion of all the way through here. You really have to hit your marks. The cars to be working for you. If you're fighting a lot of understeer, that's not going to work. There we see Eric Krill there, who's having a good run today.
That is a Lotus Super 7, too. That is the original Lotus. Right in front of it is a Chatham. You can see the differences. Chatham's still under construction. You can still buy one of those. But that is his father's Lotus Super 7, and he better not hurt it either.
And Eric's a great guy. He really helps us out with the Speed Vision World Challenge. He works with the media department there, and is just a great guy and just enjoys his racing. Unfortunately, we keep him so busy on the pro weekends, he probably can't get enough track time for us.
Yeah, that's a fact. But he has his fun. And, you know, he struggled early this week. He had one session where it was wet, so he didn't go out. At the end of the session, it dried up, and everybody went really quick. And he wasn't out there to take, so he had to qualify way at the back. But he's in a good scrap right now with that Chatham, isn't he?
He is. He's done a good job. Qualified 31st. He's battled his way close to the top 20. Sitting 22nd right now in that blue and yellow number 7, trying to work his way by some of the other traffic.
Oh, this looks congested down here. I'll tell you what.
One of the other 240Zs there in competition. Got a prelude whistling by the 19 car. Don Bunt from Poplar Grove, Illinois. One car has spun up. Miata has gone around.
Boy, they threaded through there.
In the S's, yeah, kind of in the groove there.
One down in the ditch there, too, in the sand trap. In the kitty litter, as we call it.
Grayson Upchurch is in front of this pack, and he's really not pulling away that much, so he may have a problem with that car that's running second.
Jump back on board with Buddy Norton down the back straightaway. Cole is still the leader. Coming up 2 laps to go here at Mid-Ohio. Dark Horse with Calvin Fish and Dorsey Schrader. I'm Rick Benjamin. And downstairs, John Bizignano and Sandy Hang looking at the leader, Pratt Cole, who has just thrown a whooping at the rest of the field here in E-Production this afternoon.
Well, I tell you what, second place, nowhere in sight whatsoever. So Cole, with a couple of laps, has nothing to do but just stay smooth.
Rick Radicek has done a great job again this weekend as our stage manager and our booth operator here, you might say. He says 10 seconds is the gap now between first and second.
That's a long way around Mid-Ohio, I guarantee you that. Grayson, of course, can't see the lead car anymore, so all he can hope is it gets him some sort of mechanical difficulty, and he doesn't.
And we have seen other races this weekend that have been like this. We've seen many that have been down to the wire, including one just a short time ago here today in one of the other categories, one of the GT classes, where there was some beating and banging in the final couple of turns that turned the course of the race completely around.
Now in this car, all he's going to have to do is wipe the bugs off the snout of it and be ready to go.
I tell you, though, even though it looks comfortable out there when it's a national championship on the line, the last couple of laps, with a healthy lead, I'm sure he's still feeling some pressure and wondering what can happen to him.
Working on lap 19, there'll be one to go.
Smoke. Now you said it. As soon as you said it, I see a little wisp of smoke emanating from under the rear of that car. Probably nothing at all to worry about. Of course, that's easy for me to say sitting here, but
yeah, I don't want to pull a Bizignano.
No, you might have done it.
Grayson Upchurch does run second still in car number 2, the outside pole sitter, and that Nissan 240SX. There is the leader, Cole.
See him look to the right.
Yeah.
It's funny. He looks off to the right where we're sitting, and of course the start finish and the checkered flag is on the left, so he must have a spotter over there.
He wants to know what you're saying about it.
I haven't said anything bad yet.
The 83 car and a good battle. Sam Halkias from Westerville, Ohio, running up in 9th, and then the 70 is 10th. That's the car of Kim Knapp from Avon, Colorado.
We thought he may have been leaking some fluid earlier. We saw from our in-car camera of Buddy Norton that he was getting some fluids being sprayed by Kim Knapp, but the car looks pretty healthy right now as they go through 13, encountering some traffic once again.
Actually, the TR6 is the one that's emanating the smoke right now. The 83 there in front was, if anybody's losing a little oil, it might be that car. Of course, it is a Triumph.
Our camera car, Buddy Norton's 17 car, right in the hunt, right in the thick of that battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th. Last lap around here in Mid-Ohio.
Well, he does have some smoke coming out of that Triumph there, and Kim Knapp's going to try and put the pressure on. I don't think he's got the straightaway speed. He seems to have the handling on this car in front of him, but I'm not sure he's going to be in a position to make a move. Now we see our leader here coming through turn 11, about half a lap from the checkered flag.
Just needs to keep it on the black stuff for another mile or so. Matt Cole with a dominant run. Sat on the pole here this weekend, the 97 Runoffs champion in E-Production. About ready to claim his second career gold medal.
Zoom, zoom, indeed. As he just zoomed this one right into the record book.
Final corner, here comes Cole, down to the finish line, checkered flag in the air. Brad Cole is your winner in E-Production today here at Mid-Ohio. Waves to the fans. The driver from Salt Lake City, the Western Metals Transport Mazda. And he zoomed to an easy win. 10 seconds. Just about the final margin of victory. There is Upchurch in the deuce, finishing in second spot. Third will go, it looks like, to the 44 of Chris Bobus from Aurora, Illinois. And Silver Honda Prelude. He came way back in
nowhere because, I mean, Rivera held down that third position for a while there, and Cook was fourth. So I'm not sure what happened in the last couple of laps to have a change of position for their final medal.
Well, we'll check on that. Scoring here occasionally, the monitor that we have access to sometimes is not quite up to par. Bobus qualified 24th, so if he drove to third, that would be an outstanding performance, and we'll check and see if Bobus in the 44 is in fact the third place finisher. Meantime, Brad Cole, no doubt about it, the winner in E-Production here at the Runoffs. We'll talk to him in Victory Lane when we come back. Sports Car Course, Lexington, Ohio, the 38th SCCA Valvoline Runoffs with Dorsey Schrader and Calvin Fish, Iberick Benjamin, Sandy Heng on pit road, ready to talk to our winner.
Well, Pratt Cole is our winner. I think Tech better go over your car carefully because you have an autopilot switch that you used. You just seem to turn it on and then cruise.
It's kind of fun when you settle in for the race and the hoopla in the beginning's all gone and you can settle down and drive. That's when it's fun. You settle down and just go around and around, and it's a lot of fun.
You just got into a magnificent rhythm there, and there just seemed to be no mistakes. Every line perfect.
Thank you. It felt pretty good. I had a great run the first lap with Grayson. He's a great driver, and there's not everybody in the world you'd like to go side by side with for the first quarter of a lap or whatever it was, but he's a great driver, and he stayed right there. He was in my mirrors all the way. Mid-race, if some cars started spinning, he started falling back, and I was quite happy to see that, quite honestly, because he was about one bobble away for the first half of the race, and I was glad when he finally disappeared.
Well, at the start of the race, we talked about your sailboat that you like to sail. Where is that boat now, and do you think you'll be going there to celebrate?
the boat is in Grenada, and yeah, we'll be on our way back there in about 30 days. And actually, the owner of the marina is a new car racer, and he wants to take me down racing in Trinidad. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to see how that goes.
Well, he'll get some racing in the offseason. Then that is your new national champion in E-Production, Pratt Cole, ready to take his flag and a victory lap around Mid-Ohio.
And some of Pratt's family and friends, crew members, climbing on board for the traditional lap of celebration. We're nearing the end of these 2001 SCCA Valvoline Runoffs, the national championships. Still some more racing and more coverage to come your way here on Speed Vision. But let's take you back to the very first race of the weekend. Dorsey Schrader and C Sports Racing. A good battle.
A good battle indeed.
Look at, there goes Burgers. That's up on the madness, and there goes 41 Tim Dunn. He got away with one so far. Oh, Miller just got center punched by number 42, Jim Steinhelfer.
Now there goes Miller all by himself. No contact yet. Wham! Big old hit.
Look at Ben. Oh, there's a spin.
Whoa, there goes Dunn. Around he goes, second time, no contact with him. Well, oh, and there goes Dunn again.
Ouch.
Not all of this weekend was as beautiful and sunny as today, and that first race was a slippery mess, I'll tell you what.
Heavy contact there. A lot of cars had problems in the rain, and Friday here was a very, very wet day indeed. But things have improved dramatically for the last 2 days of this championship weekend in Mid-Ohio. And for Pratt Cole, the weather couldn't be finer. We'll come back and tell you more about the E-Production National Championship. Enjoying the weekend here at Mid-Ohio. This day has just turned perfect to wrap up these 2001 national championships. Well, the drivers who finished second and third couldn't really see much of Pratt Cole as the race wore on, but still an impressive run, especially for young Grayson Upchurch. Let's find out his story today. Down to John Bisognano.
Grayson, you looked absolutely frustrated out there from time to time. You said the car was cutting out for you, and you even had to push it up the pit lane.
Yeah, well, it was a frustrating race. Pratt was quick. We had nothing for Pratt today, and unfortunately, a couple of times the car was cutting out. I think it's electrical problems. We've got to take a look at that. And it was missing a few times, and definitely when we pulled in, I thought it was going to cut out on me with 3 laps to go, and kept hanging on, actually cut out once in the coming out of the keyhole. And finally, coming into the pits, it died on me. So.
Well, this car was only built in August, a beautiful Nissan 240SX. Used to be a security car in Road Atlanta, I think, and you built it up. Would you have done better with the car that you've been running for years instead of bringing a brand new car to a national championship?
No, I don't think so. With the 240Z, we were pretty close, but we had some guys really right on us. Pratt just happened to be really good this year. The Nissan 240SX was a great car. We built it, late, but it was a good national car. First national race, second place in the runoff, not too bad.
You said you had an opportunity to actually use power out there. The Miata was depending 100% on momentum, but there just wasn't enough to get you up to his bumper.
Just not quite enough, and I worked hard. I mean, I was late braking, and I was doing everything I thought I could do, and actually probably pushed a tad too hard a few times there, but just didn't quite have it. Goodyear tires stayed under me. They were great, and Redline Oil definitely saved this engine a couple times for us, and we were close.
Congratulations on a great second place. Tony Rivera, my gosh, we thought that the track was getting very oily with all that slipping and sliding you were doing out there. When did you break that rear suspension?
It was probably about lap 5 or 6, just from banging the gears. I could hear the drive shaft hitting the floor, and the car got really loose. But, luckily the Hoosier tires can take that and, kept me on the track. Many times I wasn't sure about it, but...
I mean, how uncomfortable can that be with all these constant radius turns? Mid-Ohio's a handling circuit, and you're out there with a broken suspension. Any thought about coming in the pits?
No. I've broken it a couple times this year and always pulled in, and this time I said, this is it. I'm going to go until I can't go anymore. I mean, just took a lot of throttle modulation with my right foot to keep the car on the track. You're
developing this car. You're going to keep it for the next season?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've still got suspension work to do. We've got them pretty much there on the power. With my business, TR Motorsports, I've been working really hard on that aspect, and it's paid off for me.
Congratulations. Sandy Hang is worth our 4th place finisher.
Our 4th place finisher, Roger Cook, started in 4th and finished in 4th, but that was an achievement considering some of the problems you had. Tell us about that.
We just had a really bad ignition problem. I don't know where that came from, but going on to the front straight here, I'm sure you could hear it. It was just like miss all the way down the front straight and halfway down the back straight. So we tried to drive around it as much as we could, but things didn't work out that well. So we started in 4th, just rode around, didn't get in a race with anybody, and that was it.
Well, earlier this week, we were joking about this paint scheme. You changed your car all over, the front, the nose, for some better luck this year.
That's right. We needed better luck. After last year, you know, we kind of tangled with Grayson on the last lap, and everybody was mad at us all year, so we changed the car, and maybe nobody would remember us.
Well, that's Roger Cook. He's happy to hang on to that fourth-place finish in his sixth effort here at the Runoffs.
Tell you what, Dorsey, that color scheme looked like something you might have had as a young kid.
I had a pair of shoes like that.
And a flame job, right?
Absolutely.
Interesting to hear from Grayson Upchurch. I thought he'd lost a bit of speed. He was in amongst lap traffic and really wasn't making a lot of ground there in the latter stages of the race. That misfire was certainly costing him some time.
Yeah, some of the cars that were involved in that big tangle off the keyhole, Gerald Lamb's machine going out on the hook. Let's get more of the post-race story. Back to John Bisognano.
Well, you're looking at this beautiful Honda Prelude that belongs to John Schmidt. John, now listen, you're an engineer for Honda. Now, is that fair for you to really come out here and run against all these amateur boys?
Oh, yeah, it's a low-budget deal, and I do all the work on the car, and it just works out pretty well that way. And
I think every year he comes, he's going to be faster, guys.
Good run for John Schmidt and his team. The Honda factory plant not too far away from here, and Schmidt and his crew all working in the engineering department at Honda. So a good run for the folks in E-Production, but Pratt Cole certainly the dominator in that Mazda Miata, the 99 car. And the fans have settled in. We've still got a lot more racing to come your way. Let's take a look at the top 10. Cole defeats Upchurch. Rivera gets third. Then Cook and Schmidt. Thrash in that zero. Brackey, Halkias, Kim Knapp, and Buddy Norton, your first 10 here today. And the fans just waiting for the next event to roll out onto the racetrack. We've got a lot more to come your way, certainly, here late in the afternoon on the final day of these 2001 SCCA National Championships. Quite an undertaking to stage this event. It takes some 600 or 700 volunteers from SCCA regions around the country, and we certainly appreciate their hard work. We want to thank all of our Speed Vision crew. It's been a long weekend for our bunch that's scattered all around this 2.4-mile layout, in our production truck, in audio, and logistics, and everywhere. Everyone's done just a marvelous job, and we appreciate it. More to come tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific, coverage of the Formula Continental National Championship round as our Speed Vision exclusive coverage of the SCCA Valvoline Runoffs continues. Good day to take some photos, too, of some fast-moving race cars. We hope you've enjoyed our pictures and our descriptions. For Dorsey Schrader and Calvin Fish, John Bisognano and Sandy Heng, I'm Rick Benjamin. Hope you enjoyed our coverage. We congratulate Pratt Cole, the winner of E-Production in the 2001 SCCA Valvoline Runoffs. There is more to come. We will talk to you next time.